Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the World Chess Championship 2023. This is game number 12. It's Yan Nepomniachtchi of Russia. It's Ding Liren of China. After 11 games, Yan leads by 1 point, 6-5. Time is running out for Ding. Can he close the gap, or will Yan pull away by 2 games today? You're about to find out. First, before we jump into the game, a word from our sponsor, Honkai Star Rail. This is Honkai Star Rail, a new multi-platform space fantasy RPG from Hoyoverse. This game is cross-platform and free-to-play, but there's so much more. There's an immersive story and worldviews, gorgeous character designs, incredible music and graphics, and super fun strategic turn-based battling. With this turn-based combat mechanism, battles are a refreshing experience. The richness of strategic matching brings diversity to the gameplay, and you can use different combos for different experiences, which if you think about it, is kind of like chess. In Honkai Star Rail, you get an immersive RPG experience set in a fascinating sci-fi universe. You can meet new friends, explore new worlds, and increase your combat power to overcome powerful enemies. Powerful enemies? Like Eric Rosen? You can also find treasure chests, solve puzzles, and embark on new adventures on different planets, while saving the world along the way. It's kind of a nice bonus. These cutscenes are also absolutely beautiful, with professional cinematography and animation. And the audio is top-notch, like a TV production. Folks, Honkai Star Rail is out now. I've got a link in the description you can click on, and it's also in the pinned comment. This really might be the breakout RPG game of 2023. I'm super excited. You should check it out. Now let's get back to the video. Thanks, sponsored Gotham. All right, Ding has the white pieces in this game. There are 3 games left in this match. If this match is tied 7-7 after 14 rounds of action, then we have a tiebreaker, and well, that will be kind of insane if we get there. Ding begins with d4. He's played d4, c4 the entirety of the match. Knight f6, knight f3. The last time that Ding used this move order and did not play the pawn to c4, he went for a London. So, naturally, after this, what? Pawn to e3? This is wild. So, you know what's interesting? There's a lot of ways to play sidelines, but Ding has almost not entered c4 in any lines, which is crazy. Which just really means that chess is in a bad spot, because Ding has played everything under the sun except main lines. The move e3 is not a bad move, by any stretch of the imagination, but it is not a serious try for an advantage. In fact, when I saw this, I was bummed, because I was like, what? Like, what even is that move? I mean, he's not playing a main line, he's not even going for a Catalan, like the one line that Ding plays all the time. Now, Yan plays c5. The most principled way to play queen's pawn openings is to get the c-pawn for assistance, right? So c5, very natural move. But normally, nowadays, people are playing c3. Why? Because to avoid the main line of the London, which is c5, they are playing c3, so after c5 they can take and hang on to their pawn. But against e3, c5, you can't take and hang on to your pawn. I mean, you can't do this. They just get the pawn back, because you don't have good support. So this doesn't make a huge amount of sense. And then knight bd2. What on earth? I don't think this opening has ever occurred in a world championship. This is not a traditional, serious try to get an advantage. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, Ding is just looking to get Nepo totally out of his comfort zone and to have to play chess on his own, which, all right, well, he does that, takes. Now, the fascinating thing about when black takes and white takes is that now you have a Caro-Kann. What does that mean? Well, e4, c6, d4, d5, white is missing an e-pawn, black is missing a c-pawn, and imagine the game goes knight f3, knight f6, knight bd2. So essentially, it's the same exact position. It doesn't make, this is not the way white is supposed to play an exchange Caro-Kann, right? Or maybe it is? Maybe it is the way white is supposed to play an exchange Caro-Kann, but in the exchange Caro-Kann, which is what I just showed you, it doesn't make any sense for white to play knight bd2 right away. White plays bishop d3 and c3. And then later the knight moves, maybe it goes a3, c2, maybe it goes knight, but you keep this open. You keep the bishop open. Well, Yan then plays not a bishop move, not a knight move, but queen c7. This is some sort of deep strategic prep But I got news for you. It gets even more dank. What does black like to do in an exchange Carl Khan pawn structure is to play knight c6 and either play the bishop out here or fianchetto. You can play g6, bishop g7. I've played both. I've also played lines where my knight goes to h6 and comes back to f7, and then you build for e. I mean, I've played it all. But it gets a whole lot more dank. Now, you would expect here that since white has not committed the bishop to d3, bishop f5. I mean, I would recommend this move to a lot of newbies. It's not the best move because according to the computer, white can go knight h4. That's probably what Ding was going to do. Ding knows that. Most newbies probably don't. Okay, but fine. I mean, you can probably play bishop g4, right? That makes sense. And if you don't want to commit your bishop, all right, fine, play knight c6 first. Well, Jan here plays a move that I don't think a single human being on the planet understood. Bishop d7. Played after 10 minutes of thought. That's not prep. What even is this match? I cannot even explain moves to you in the World Championship on move 6. How am I supposed to do my job? I'm supposed to be kind of the bridge, right, between 2800 level chess and 800 level chess. And if you're below that bridge, like 200, you know, you're living under the bridge, that's fine. All right, you've fallen on hard times. Everybody does at some point in different scales. That's okay. Soon you will be on the bridge, not under it. So, bishop d7. I mean, I can't explain this move. I don't know what this move does. I don't understand this move at all. Now, what's interesting is that Ding could actually play knight e5, which is super fascinating. He didn't, but knight e5, just trying to get the bishop, makes a lot of sense. And maybe the idea was like knight c6 and then maybe play for e5? Or just play for e6? I don't know. I already cannot explain the World Championship at all, and we're on the 6th move of the game. Anyway, Ding plays bishop d3, okay? And Jan plays knight c6, and we all live happily ever after. But why didn't he play here? I mean, bishop d7 literally looks like your mouse lagged on the way here. This is what it looks like that happened. Like, it looks like, you know, you went here, oh, damn, and then you dropped it on d7. I don't know. And I got news for you. It gets even weirder because a few moves later, he plays bishop g. What? Why didn't he just pin? Here's what I think. I think pinning too quickly before white has castled might actually backfire. This is really interesting. I think that if you pin too quickly, white can actually get a very, very powerful initiative without committing the king. I actually think this was really clever from Jan because now ain't nobody going g4. Not only is nobody going g4 because the king is here, I'm gonna trade. Like, this is very easy, right? Now, the thing about this move, bishop d7, Anish actually explained it, Anish Giri, in his commentary, that there are some lines where the queen is on c2 and this is the top computer move, but yeah, I mean, super dank stuff. But okay, Jan doing it his way and it seems to be going fine. Rook e1, very natural move, pawn to e6. We're just kind of in a typical exchange Carl Khan now. Now, what does white want? Well, white would love to trade the dark squared bishops. White has what we call a queenside majority, right? So maybe expanding over here, taking space. e5 and e4 are two very important squares in the exchange Carl Khan as well. If white can establish a dominant position on e5 followed by f4, it always allows you to fight after that and keep expanding. Something like knight e5, like thoroughly planting something in your opponent's position to prevent communication. It's like any of you watch Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia. I'm not going to pretend to be a boxing expert. I'm like 300 elo at boxing. I'm like, hit him! Why isn't he hitting him? But it's like when you control the lead hand. I was seeing footage that the way Gervonta fights is control of the lead hand, like making sure the jab isn't defective, and this is sort of that. This is like extending the lead hand and not allowing easy combinations and communications between the shoulders and the arms and everything and the brain. Now, I've been doing a lot of this. He's not going to do it right now because he's not going to lose a queen. He plays knight f1 first. Knight f1 is a multi-purpose move. First of all, he wanted to give the king a smooch. Unfortunately, the horse doesn't actually see the king. The horse only sees these squares. King sees the horse, though, so it's adorable. The bishop is now open, and the knight could maybe go to e3, g3, and then the move h3 would take away its escape squares. So the bishop's escape square. So it makes a lot of sense. Bishop d6. And now, for the second time in this match, disaster strikes. Well, no, disaster has struck many times in this match, depending on who you are rooting for. In this position, Ding Liren plays the move bishop g5, which is a very, very, very clear indication of what he wants. He wants to damage the pawns, right? Which is probably why it was better for Jan to play bishop e7, right? Because then after bishop g5, there would be no purpose of capturing, and black would simply castle. So did Jan make an inaccuracy by playing bishop d6 and allowing bishop g5 to take on f6 to damage his structure? No. Not only does Jan not care about bishop takes f6, pawn takes f6, damaging his structure, Jan castles that way. For the second time in this match, Ding threatens to damage his opponent's pawn structure, and his opponent uses that to his advantage. Ding played the move bishop g5 in less than 2 minutes. He played the move bishop f6 in 30 minutes. That is a massive giveaway of information. Like in poker, I mean, poker pros, they little tells, right? A tell that your opponent was not ready for this is the fact that he spends 30 minutes convincing himself it's the right thing to do. And I got news for you. It's not the right thing to do for the second time in this match. Ding is digging himself into a hole. All right? Fabiano Caruana was like, why didn't he just rotate, right? Trading off the bishop. Who cares about the knight? But Ding said, I got to win this match right now. And the only way to win this match right now is to cause a little bit of chaos. I'm going to damage his structure and open his king, and I'm going to give up the bishop pair, and his pawn structure in the endgame is bad, okay? You take away everything. This is not a really good structure to have in the endgame. Everything is weak. Here's the problem. After knight to g3, black has a very simple plan here. And that simple plan is pawn to f5 to build a light squared pawn cage to counteract the bishop. Not only does white no longer have a dark squared bishop, the pawn cage that is about to be built like this, look at this. Black has nearly every pawn on a light square. So white doesn't have a dark squared bishop, and white essentially doesn't have a light squared bishop either. This is not good. And I got news for you after that. King to h8 is coming. And you are not going to sit there and pretend like the other person having a bazooka pointed at your king you're trying to pretend white's king is safer, all right? A lot of people here would go, well, white's king is safer because look at that. Oh, and this king, there's a giant hole. Yeah, well, what happens if one of the kings has a gigantic hole in his house, but he uses it to point a rocket launcher at your house? Whose king is actually safer? Okay? Whose king is safer in this position? Is it the white king with the 3 pawns and the horses and the beautiful front yard? Who cares if this king has a hole in front of the house when there's going to be a rocket launcher pointed to... Okay, so f5 invites all of that. Ding plays h3. He gets this. But this is a really unfortunate competition of bishops. All right? It's a really unfortunate competition. Now, something interesting here. If black rushes this, Ding is actually a genius because suddenly the bazooka changes hands, all right, and mate is threatened. It's not game over yet, but it's an extremely unpleasant position to defend, and if you aren't able to defend it, you might lose in the endgame because you're going to lose all your pawns. Well, that doesn't happen. Instead of that, Nepo plays knight e7, knight h5, king h8, and rook g8 is on the way, and I think this only spells bad news. Now, what's funny is that this is when I woke up. I woke up around this position, I scanned the game, and then in this position, Ding Liren, he went for it. That's it. He's going for it. It's round number 5 of a 5-round fight. He's probably down 3-1 or 4-0. He's going for the knockout. Pereira Adesanya won in MMA. G4. This is unbelievable. Pawn to G4. Same side attacking chess. Pawn to G4 attacks the integrity of the structure. Black should not capture because it's not about the pawn. It's about that and that. And you can BM here. Sack the bishop for absolutely no reason. Everybody knows that's what you have to do. G4, rook G8. That's it. The fisticuffs are beginning. It's like a hockey fight. You know, they're not really supposed to fight in hockey, so it's way more exciting than watching an actual fight. These dudes on skates, like, throwing off the helmet, grabbing each other, bah, bah, throw, yeah, and then this thing, bah, you know? And then, no, this is super, super exciting. The kings have been escorted to the back. Kings have been escorted to the back. They can't get any blood on them. You know, we gotta respect the monarchs. And now black plays knight G6. And now the fun is over. Unfortunately, all good things in a recap have to come to an end, like the recap itself. In this position, Ding should have continued transferring pieces to this side. He probably didn't like the move bishop h2 because he can't go rook g2 because of knight h4 fork. So Ding can't play rook g1 because of bishop h2. Let's keep in mind, Jan would take a draw in a heartbeat. So Ding plays bishop c2. Jan plays knight h4 anyway, and Ding plays queen e3, and Jan plays rook g6. He's ready to bring the rook here. He's ready to double. Jan is faster. By the way, Jan did not take the pawn on g4 because, again, checkmate is just way too big of a threat. If you play f5, this falls, queen f6, and so on. So rook g6. Now Ding played rook g1 because if bishop h2 is played, rook g3, sacrificing a rook to trap the knight, which is very interesting. But Jan just closed it all down. Jan is playing lights out chess. I mean, he is honestly just playing sensational chess. He has completely sealed the door on the king side. Ding has nothing. And if you look at the advantage, it hasn't worked out. None of it has worked out. All right? The whole plan, bishop takes f6 on move 15. All of this, advancing over here, it hasn't worked out. And Ding's in bad shape. Queen e7. Simply rotating the queen over, rook is coming, and at some point black will play f5, untangling white's defenses, and it will literally be game over. Ding brings his other rook, queen to g5. Jan has created a completely unstoppable barrier, and Ding gets desperate and plays c4, and the evaluation falls off a cliff. Pawn to c4, pawn takes c4, and if Ding just plays queen c4 trying to trade, he just gives up a fork. So that was not his idea. c4, dc4 sacrifices a pawn to open up a hope and a prayer on the black king. Jan just plays b5. It is move 25. It is minus 2.5 if you let the engine run. Ding is down a pawn. Ding has absolutely only one idea in this position. Literally one. And it's to go here. And that's it. It was a good match. It was definitely a good match. But Ding, unfortunately, just unable to break through, and seemingly the nervous system just gave out a little bit, and he took his chance at the wrong moment. He plays a4, trying to untangle, and Jan, of course, has the move a6 here, just maintaining defense. But Jan plays b4, okay? b4 is good enough. It's a very aggressive move, and it's something that Ding expected, because after this, there is a fork. Knight to f3 is simply a fork. There is one idea here, queen c6, triple fork back. What is the best way to answer a double fork? Easy, triple fork. Queen a8, queen d6, and queen f3 all threatened, but it's still winning. Rook g8, and black is going to capture this, and then black is going to go here and win. Queen c4. But Jan plays rook g8. Wait a minute, Ding. Okay, not the most accurate of moves. Not the most accurate. Ding still goes queen c6, hits the bishop, and this. And now Jan has only one move here. Jan has only one move. He has to play knight f5. Because pawn takes f5 is not possible. Black will sacrifice, and there is a bulldozer coming in with f3 and rook g2. So, queen c6, you actually have to play knight f5. But Jan goes bishop b8. Wait a minute. Whoa. Ding is winning. What is going on? Ding is winning. Ding is winning. Bishop takes g6 is winning. It's just completely winning. Now, I guess the idea is that the knight is trapped, but d5 is winning for Ding. And the point is, if g takes h5, you just break into the black position. Ding Liren, for the first time in this game, and for the first time in like 5 days, is winning after bishop b8. He just has to take the rook. He doesn't see it. Well, he doesn't see it. He doesn't see d5. And Jan is winning again with the move knight to f5. Knight to f5 again winning. But Jan plays rook h6, and now it's back to equality. Oh my goodness, both sides missing absolute haymakers to put the other away. So Ding now plays bishop e4, centralizing, controlling. Rook h5 is an idea, but it's a little bit too fast now. Black can play f3 here, but Jan plays rook f8. Rook f8 is a very clear intention, all right? He's trying to set this up, but he gives away his b-pawn, and his rook is now hanging. And now he's bringing his queen back. Wait a minute, this game is spinning a little bit out of control here. What is happening? Queen c3, realigning the threat on the king on h8. Okay, knight g6, fine. f5 maybe, rook h5 maybe. You should have played knight f5 a few moves ago. It was a hard move. Now bishop g2, protecting the king, all right? Protecting the king, still equal, all right? Now the queen comes back to h4. Oh my god, this is so tense. Now we have rook e2, defending the pawn on f2. It's a very, very tense position. Both sides are kind of running out of moves. In fact, one of black's top engine moves here is queen g5. Both sides are kind of stuck. And in this position, game 12, world championship match, leading 6-5, Jan Nepomniachtchi plays the move f5. And the evaluation pogo sticks to the stars as Jan gives up the entire house, burns all his bridges, and tries to go all in. But after rook e6, it's over. It's over. Remember the wheel kick Chris Weidman threw against Luke Rockhold that dethroned him as champion and effectively ended his career? That's what f5 was, almost. The point was, after fg4, there was this and this, or something, but d5 is game over. And if you do this, I sacrifice. And if you play king g8, it's simply mate on g7. Jan, I've got no idea what he missed. He spent the rest of his time, 17 minutes he spent, head in his hands, devastated, unbuttoning his shirt. Not all the way, that would have been a bit too much. Absolutely devastated. The scenes, rook h5, gh5, and in this position, Jan Nepomniachtchi resigned game 12 of the World Chess Championship, and it's 6-6 against all odds. He was up 6-5. He was outplaying Ding, bell to bell. He was up a pawn in a nearly -3 advantage, and it slipped out of his control back to equality, and the move f5 completely ended the game. He resigned because he cannot stop all of White's attacks, and mate is stopped. It's 6-6 after 12. This match is nuts. I don't even know what to say. I can't wait for the last two games. Get out of here.